Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Muta. My name is Lola Cynthia. Last week I explained why people tend to disassociate from the label rape from a societal standpoint. On this week's vlog, I will be discussing the personal common themes as to why people don't accept or acknowledge the word rape or acknowledge they have been sexually assaulted. One, they often dismiss the experience like it was not that big of a deal or it could have been worse. So for example, imagine this sexual assault happened between couples. After the first round of sex, you refuse for the second round, but the partner refuses to acknowledge your non-consent and proceeds regardless. You might not see it as a big deal because you begin to compare it to someone else that might have been gang raped, or might have been drugged to have sex, or might have been raped by just complete strangers. You know, there's so many other illustrations of rape that might have been worse than what you're going through. So you say, what happened to me is probably easier than what happened to that person, so I'm gonna let it go. That is one way that people refuse to acknowledge sexual assault, because they believe that which they experience is nothing compared to real rape. Number two is that they tend to normalize it. When this kind of thing happens within your friend group or in society, you tend to believe that it's probably a norm, it's probably not sexual assault, it's just one of those things that happen. So for example, a boy might feel violated by a woman. He goes, I don't want to have sex with you or anything like that, I don't want to be sexually intimate with you. But the person doesn't stop, the person keeps touching him and he gets aroused, and you know, things happen, but he doesn't feel okay with it. He feels like it was taken against his will. He feels violated. Then he goes back to talk to his guys like, this is what happened, and the friends all laugh, say, you're lucky now, waiting day they happen and normal, and they even make a joke on how lucky he was to be able to have sex with someone without going through the whole stress. So what happens is that boy begins to feel like this is a normal thing, that why am I stressing over it, and he doesn't bring it up again because he doesn't want to be seen as overly sensitive. So he normalizes this situation. This is what happens between boys and house helps, or you know, cougars and teenagers. Also, this is the same thing with ladies. You might have been in a situation that isn't clear-cut rape. During foreplay, you weren't ready for sex, but the person that you're with wanted to have sex. You know, tensions got high, the person began to rip your clothes off. Probably you guys were making out, but that was just all you wanted to do. You just wanted to make out, but the guy kept doing other things, taking off your clothes. Then the penetration happened and you feel violated. You might have mumbled underneath your breath like stop, but the person didn't hear you. So you feel violated and you come and you tell your friends about it, and they all laugh and say, I'm waiting dead here. You're supposed to know as conji they do person now. You get that kind of thing. So you say, okay, maybe this is normal, because your friends start telling you stories of what has happened to them as well, and they begin to make your own look like this is probably not a big deal, that you were probably lucky. And it goes back to the first point, like I said, where people begin to compare their own sexual experience with someone else. So when it's normalized because your group of friends or society have told you that this is something that is not a big deal, you see it as, well, I don't want to be overly sensitive, and you just take it as one of those bad days and you continue your life like nothing ever happened. The third one is self-blame. Self-blame, like they say, is the predictor of recovery. It's very easy for one to blame themselves in this kind of situations. With society also victim blaming the person, it makes it so much more difficult. So you start asking yourself, why did I go and visit him? I should have known better. See the thing I was wearing now, maybe I wanted it, maybe I responded to the touch, I didn't say a clear cut no. So all these elements begins to pop into your head. You refuse to acknowledge it because you feel like you put yourself in that situation, so you caused it. So what you can do is just you just call it a bad day and you say it's a mistake that never should repeat itself again. And also for people that know for a fact that it's never the victim's fault, but they just can't repair the cognitive dissonance. So they know that it's not their fault, but deep down they still feel like they caused it. So that is another range of emotions that they have to go through as well. The last one is avoidance. This is the decision not to think about it at all, maybe due to what it might mean to the victim or the relationship that they have with the abusers. Imagine if you're still in this relationship with the person that abused you. It might be difficult to see your partner in that light. You don't want to acknowledge that your partner actually abused you, so you avoid it and say it was probably a bad night. But that is exactly what happened. The person abused you. If you loved the person, you begin to question yourself, what kind of person loves someone like that? Why is it that even after I knew that he abused me, I continued? Or even after I knew that she abused me, I'm still here? Does that mean that I secretly want it? What if it's an aunt that you absolutely adored, and maybe as a child the aunt abused you, but you absolutely adore this woman because she gives you gifts and everything? You can't begin to look at her as an abuser. You can't break that image of her, so you completely avoid. Because many don't classify it as assault, they're unable to acknowledge the psychological outcome and consequences caused by it. They feel the same range of symptoms that people who have been assaulted feel, but they don't see the need to seek help, which makes it so much more difficult for them. Do leave a comment on other reasons why you believe that people refuse to acknowledge that they've been sexually assaulted. Thank you so much for watching this week's vlog. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube page and like my Facebook page. My name is Lola Cynthia, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.